This video chart presentation of Radio Shack Corp. It's a New York Stock Exchange listed company trading under ticker RSH. This chart came up in a bullish investor scan, primarily because it's making a double bottom pattern. Stock price did dip a little bit below it, but there's a pretty solid support right around $2.60. A little bit of an up day on Wednesday, up 1.5% to close at 268. About average volume, 1.8 million shares traded. It's plenty of liquidity for this play. Stock price is certainly riding on the lower half of the Bollinger Bands, but as long as that support at 260 can stay intact, this chart can stay in play because it's got a nice upside to just over $3 where it bounced last month, recovering from these levels. Not getting a ton from the MACD, but it is trending back towards zero. Of course, the key is breaking back above zero. It tried to make that move at the end of November, but flattened out right at that point and started slinking back downward. We'll want to pay attention to the MACD to move back above zero to show that the chart is taking on a stronger bullish trend. Now, we're not getting much at all from the slow stow or the money flow index, other than the fact that both are in oversold conditions, and that's just, of course, reflective of the sell-off that's gone through since falling from the highs at the end of November. So that should be pretty much expected. Most optimistic thing that can be said about it is that it does leave a lot of room for upside for those indicators should we start to see some upward pressure. The relative strength index actually never did dip down into oversold territory. You see, that's something that's actually been pretty resilient to doing over the last few months. Typically doesn't want to go into oversold before a little bit of buying comes back in, and given hints of a little bit of a curl over the last couple days, that once again it's going to fight to hold above that oversold level. So we'll look for the momentum to try and build in the chart and to see if the RSI can break above 50 and this time hold above it. When it made the break right through here, that's when we see the share price starting to appreciate, and when it breaks back down, it really shows the momentum's coming back out of the play, and it's a bearish indication. So we're going to look for that little bit of a move to continue and to see if the RSI can break back above 50. The most compelling part of this chart is this double bottom pattern with a pretty solid support you can see right there at 260. If the stock price closes below that, this chart potentially could get very ugly. And while we could keep an eye on it for potential bounce, the times that it has fallen through support, like it did from these highs in September, right through this area when it finally caved in and broke below the 20-day moving average, stock price never recovered. And then again in October, when it had formed another support around $3.25, when that gave way, stock price hasn't been able to break back above it again since. So I'd be pretty skeptical of this chart if it broke downward again, that 260 mark would serve as a pretty heavy source of resistance. But going forward, if it does want to break back upward from these low levels, we'll be looking forward to move back above the 20-day moving average, this purple line, and certainly the 50-day moving average, this brown line, a point that it hasn't been above in more than 2 months. I'd look for some static resistance to be pretty heavy right there around $3.08, $3.10. That was the area of support that was formed back in October that I just mentioned, and that was the highs that were hit in November. Now, still a pretty nice upside at about 15% from current levels, so it's nothing to sneeze at. But more importantly, if it can break through that, there's not more resistance until up around 350. And importantly, that could be signaling an overall reversal in this chart, and that this 260 is a true bottom for Radio Shack. So it's a classic case of a chart that we're always looking for, sitting right on a support point, nice upside to resistance points, plenty of liquidity in a play, and for those reasons, it's one to keep an eye on going forward to see how it performs. But as always, it's merely my interpretation of the Radio Shack chart. I'm not a financial consultant. Strongly encourage you to do your own proper due diligence. Consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Please visit the allpennystocks.com website to view the full disclaimer and disclosure, and do not base any investment decisions on any material found on the website and/or this video chart. No person employed by All Penny Stocks or registered investment advisor or licensed broker-dealer. Thank you for watching. Trade smart.